6 cents trace. Honestly, was not that impressed.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh my gosh! It's a whale! 9/11. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Alex. I am Oklahoma's worst angler. And this is Trash or Pass, as you guys can tell by the title. But Trash or Pass is literally when I take a bait out and fish it. The whole series has evolved quite a bit, but let's just jump into it. I go out, take a bait out, go fish it, get familiar with it. Then I come back, do some fishing, give you guys my first initial impressions. I want to get familiarized with a bait before I come back with these impressions that I have. And I'm not talking like, fishing it for months on end and then coming back. I kind of want to put myself in your position that if you were to go out and buy the 6 cents trace and you take it out of the package and you're going out to the pond or going out to the lake and fishing it, what you're going to experience. So I kind of want to take the guesswork out of it by doing this, and that's what Trash or Pass is. But that's probably the longest freaking explanation. I know a lot of people have been around for Trash or Pass, but if you're new here, I will shorten that explanation up. But took the 6 cents trace, and well, I mean, like I said, I wasn't that impressed. But hang on a second, before you give me a thumbs down, before you start yelling at me, this Trash or Pass is a little bit different. I actually did a whole lot of the breakdown and the impressions on the water. So I'm going to show that to you guys here in just a second. But I'm probably going to repeat myself for some of the stuff that's already been said on the water. I actually fished this bait last month. Last month is when I shot the on the water footage, and I'm just now getting around to doing this part. And the reason is I'm just extremely busy. But we have bluegill spawn. Okay, so the 6 cents trace and bluegill spawn. This is the slow sink version. It's going to say right there on the box, slow sinking. And in the package, I mean, packaging looks awesome. It looks great. Comes with an extra tail. Bluegill spawn, slow sink. I do not have any of the floating versions. Not tried the floating versions. Don't plan on trying the floating versions. So, let's talk about this a little bit. This guy right here, this is one of those baits that you wouldn't really need designated swim bait gear for. Okay, I want to say this is just a little over 2 ounces. Does anybody know off the top of their head? It's not even 2 ounces. 1.65 ounces, 6 inches long. It's right there. 6 cents. Good on you for doing that. Making me look like an idiot somewhat, but also making it idiot proof. Awesome swim bait. Now, like I said, this is one that you wouldn't technically need dedicated swim bait gear setup for. Swim bait gear setup. You know what I'm trying to say. You could go out with a heavy power rod and throw the 6 cents trace just fine. 150 size reel. You're actually going to hear it in on the water footage, but that day in particular, I was actually throwing it on my Okuma Helios SX on 15-pound fluoro. Okay, this is a 150 size reel. Nothing fancy about it. Okay, it's not a 200 size, not a 300 size. This is one of those baits that you can easily overpower. You don't need crazy heavy line. You don't need a crazy heavy rod. Again, I'm going to talk about that on the water. So let's just go ahead and jump into that, and I'll see you guys back here in just a little bit.
This water has dirtied up considerably, which I really like this lake because it's normally very clear. Very clear, so I wanted to get some underwater footage for you guys of the trace today, but it's not looking like it. It is muddy. I mean, the lake is filled up quite a bit, which is great. That's great news, but visibility is way down with all the snow and the ice that we've had, everything melting off and running in here. I mean, like I said, the lake is full now, which I'm very happy about. Very, very happy about. Man, the action on this thing is pretty wicked. It is pretty wicked. This is a slow sink. This is the bluegill spawn. I'm sure I'm going to cover that in the office, but this is the bluegill spawn, and slow sink is a very slow sink. Now I'll tell you guys, the first time that I took this out, I was not impressed. And when I say that, just hold off for a second. I wasn't impressed because when I would stop it swimming, it would literally just dead stop, not move at all, okay? Now, I've had this for a while and I've learned quite a bit since then about swim baits. And I'm gonna get some footage of this just right below the surface so you guys can see it. But the biggest issue that I had with it dead stopping, I know now, was the line. I was using way too heavy of line. And I can't remember if I was throwing it on CXX. I think I was throwing it on CXX. And it wouldn't even kick out at all. So now that we got it on some 15-pound, a little bit lighter line, it is having a good nose kick out. I'll show you guys right now. So, I mean, you can keep that right below the surface. You can burn that thing. Look at that. I mean, burning it. Now you can see when it stops, it does kick off to the side a little bit. But like I said, when I first had it, it would not kick at all. It would just dead stop, nose forward, no action, nothing to it. And I was extremely disappointed in it. But like I said, that was my problem with having too heavy a line on there. So you can twitch this thing, get kind of an erratic walking action to it. Yeah, I was always impressed with the swim. That was the one thing that I just did not like about it. I mean, look at this thing. Look at that. Whew! That's a good bait. That is a good swim bait. Let's just do it again. Do it again. Look at that. I mean, I'm cranking on this. Wow. Now, let's see if we can get a sink rate on it. I'm going to cast it out here, look at the live scope. Okay, there we are. I'd say it's about 1 foot per second, if not 1.5, almost 2 seconds. It is a slow sink. It is a slow sinking swim bait, but I mean that's a good thing, especially for a lot of the guys that are getting into swim baits, you know, that aren't comfortable with these just yet. They don't want something that's going to sink too fast. They want something that they can go out and, you know, beat the banks with and throw this at a pond and not really have too much concern in losing that bait. Got a wicked clack to it as well. So now let's go out and let's see if we can catch some freaking fish with it. There we go. That's a fish. That's a light bite. Man, that was a light bite. Just tapped it. Just tapped it. Come on up here, buddy. I won't give you too much, but yeah, we got 15-pound line on here, so. Well, I say he just tapped it, but dang, he about engulfed the thing. Jeez. Sheesh. Yeah, I'd say I'd say he wanted that. How about that? 6 cents trace. Man. Seem to like that little more erratic action. And as always, 6 cents hardware. Those hooks are sticky sharp, and that just dug in there buried in that guy. Ain't big, but a little bit of red on the tail there, huh? Red lips. Heck yeah. Whoa, on the stop. That one hit it hard. Okay, so that's how it's gonna be today. They like it on the pause. They like that kind of more erratic. And then when it pauses, they just come up and smash it. This one, he just swiped at it. Oh, you messed up, buddy. You messed up. Swipe or no swiping. That was definitely a swipe, but has something to be said for a little more erratic action rather than just a straight retrieve. So I've been doing handle chops like that. I've been kind of speeding it up and then killing it. And he literally just swiped at it when I stopped it and that swim bait stopped moving. Oh my, what did I do? Oh my gosh. Oh, that was stupid. Oh, that was stupid. That was a good fish too. Oh, that was a good fish. Oh, daggone. Oh, daggone. Handle chopping mother. Oh, rookie mistake, Alex. You can't just jerk on the swim baits with the treble hooks when you have a fast action rod. Oh! That would have been the best one. Boom. Oh, yeah. Oh, we lost him. Oh, lost him. All right. That's something to take into account. Big hooks. Big hooks. That's the second time we've gotten tangled up on strikes. It's not saying that the hooks are bad. Not saying the hooks are bad at all. I mean, like I've said it many times, 6th Sense has premium hardware. But for this bait, you may want to downsize at least the front hook, because that is the one that's been getting tangled up in the line, at least when I'm getting erratic with it. You know, and the way that these fish are slapping, that's not always going to be the case, but downsizing the hook might increase the hookup ratio a little bit. That could have been very well my error as well. I felt like I had that fish pinned. I could have leaned in a little bit more, but I do think that line was tangled up around that front hook. Again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing about the swim bait. I'm just saying that that might be something you want to take into account is, you know, for your style of fishing, if you're going to be working a little more erratic like that, and if you know the behavior of your fish and they're going to be slapping at it, then maybe just go ahead and downsize that front treble just by one. You know, I don't know what size these are. They are pretty big for the swim bait, in my opinion. But I mean, they've stuck the fish that I've done my job with. But you know, just something to keep in mind.
So now that I've covered talking about why I was disappointed, okay, obviously the final verdict is this thing is a pass. It is an awesome swim bait, absolutely killer. I think it's great. Like I said, I was disappointed at first because of my own ignorance in using too heavy a line, too heavy of a rod, And that day, that made all the difference. In throwing a rod that was not near as stout, in all actuality, it was probably a little too fast of a tip for those couple that I missed. Probably could even have downsized my rod for this lure in particular. But by throwing it on 15-pound fluoro, on a 150 size reel, on a smaller rod, that's my F5 Ghost Code is what it was. That was the medium heavy. It's rated 1 to 4 ounces, but it is a fast action. So it's got a faster tip on there, which that was all my fault. On losing the fish, that was my fault, but I did mention in there a couple times, I believe, talking about the hook size. So these bigger hooks right here, 6 Sense makes some premium hardware for their baits, and that is no exception when it comes to these hooks right here. However, I would almost downsize the front treble is what I would do. Put a size smaller on the front treble. Haven't tried it yet. Again, I literally just want to kind of emulate if you guys were to go and buy this or order this and go fish it, some of the things that you might run into, some of the things you might want to do in the future. So I would say maybe downsize that front treble a little bit. Make sure you're not using too heavy of line or too heavy or fast of a rod. Okay, those are like my biggest things about this bait. But using too heavy a line, you can definitely hinder the action. That was my own ignorance the first time taking it out. That's why I was not impressed with it. I was not happy with it. I'm so glad I took it back out, and I'm so glad I downsized the line and used a more weight appropriate rod as well, because that was the ticket. That was it. This thing is killer. I mean, it's great. It's right up there, you know, with some of the other really good multi-jointed swim baits. I'm not going to name any, you know, because we don't want to get into the whole like comparison side of things. I'm not going to do that. But 6 Sense, great looking bait, great paint schemes. These are pretty well available as well, like from different colors. The slow sink versions to the floating versions. I'm a slow sink guy. I want something that I can, you know, give a lot of action to. When it comes to floating, I'm going to want a wake bait. I'm going to want, you know, a dedicated top water. I'm not really much of a floating swim bait guy, unless, like I said, it's a lipped wake bait or a cranked down, something like that. But that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I covered everything. I'm going to think really quick, make sure that I covered everything in this that I need to talk about. A question that might come up: direct line tie or snap? I would say, like, after thinking back and also reviewing the swimming footage on this, if you were to put a snap on this, you would probably get a lot more of an erratic action. A lot more of an erratic action, which can be awesome. And I'm talking like not on the swim erratic action, but when you kill it. We had that first little bit of, you know, in the water footage of the trace, and it would just kind of kick off to one side. Just that one side. And that, you know, has everything to do with the line and just how that knot was. It was kind of pulled off to one side, so therefore it was pulling to that one side. So you put a snap on there, you've got a lot more free movement in the nose of the bait. So I would definitely say figure out what you like best. I wish that I would have had a snap with me to throw this with a snap that day just to see the difference. I've got snaps readily available now, but again, this was like last month when I filmed this. So use a snap, figure out what you like best. I do like snaps because, again, like, it can give those swim baits a whole different life, a whole different kind of like movement to them and everything like that. As far as snaps, I couldn't recommend a snap just yet because I'm just now testing some new ones out, and I just saw them and I don't know where I put them because my entire place is a disaster. This looks all right, but all this right here is not all right. But yeah, I think that's everything that I could cover for you guys on the 6 Sense trace. I'd say minimum 15-pound line, maximum maybe 18-pound line. Anything above 18, that's where you're going to kind of deal with, you know, a little bit of stiffness in the bait as far as killing it and it just stopping. When I was talking about it dead stopping, this bait would literally just be swimming along and then just stop. The body would not kick out. It would just dead stop and slow sink. So going too heavy a line, you can hinder that. 15 to 18 pound, add a snap. Do you need dedicated swim bait gear for it? No. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but I know there's a lot of people that kind of skip around. So closing thoughts, I just want to get that out. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you next time we're on the water. I kind of rambled there, didn't I? Kind of rambled. I don't know if anyone's still here, but I got the Strike King Chick Magnet coming up next.